Hi, cuties. Leafstone, 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 please make me a treat. I'm home. Your dinner's getting cold. Hi, Ben. Hi, Maddie. Cerveza Cristal. How are you cuties doing on this day that exists? This lovely Thursday evening. Can't sleep, hello. Hi, Sleepless Soda. The soda's got so much caffeine that turns him into an insomniac. Sleep-a-ruma. We're all Eepy today. Okay, give me a sec. It's a sleep fusion of Futurama. Got out of bed late. I've been picking at sushi we got yesterday whenever I get hungry. It's been hard to swallow, but I don't want it to go bad. I understand. I was going to try a different controller that was a little lighter and more comfortable, but it wasn't responding, so... You guys get a free Windows notification sound. Three! Thank you, Soda, so much for the 3 stream streak. It's always good to see you streaking. Window! You're gonna take it slow, take it easy today, gather some berries. Also, do I sound okay? Game audio's okay? You can't hear my fan in the microphone or anything, can you? Good and good, okay. Hear the fan a tad? Let me, just a sec here. I pushed it back a little bit. I mean, I still need it to keep me cool so I don't die of the hotness. Because guess what? We're nearly at the end of August and it's still 90-something fucking degrees every day. Hooray! Yay! I'm so excited. Just stream from your fridge? I tried that before. The fan in my old fridge was too loud too. We are melting. We are melting. Besides, if I end up streaming from my fridge, I'll just sit there casually eating all of my cheese. And then I'll have no cheese tomorrow. Spent the last few days organizing files on my server, organizing which Pokemon to keep Pokemon asleep, and designing options for VTuber hair. Get out of your fridge, parasocial. End up as a motsicle, yeah. I apologize, we're probably not going to do much in the game this stream. There's a adequately cool autumn and winter for you, I'm hoping. I mean, like I said, there's nothing really left to do besides fight Red and hope one day Liz will call me about that leaf stone. Found a random YouTube ASMR where you have an investment plan in Pokemon stocks. You know things are bad when your ASMR fantasy is actually being, you know, financially well off. The same person about your Minecraft portfolio. Also, I think I'm going to double check the Pokédex, just to make it absolutely sure there's nothing I missed. So I feel like we pretty much got everything. Okay, can't get Vulpix or Ninetales and Crystal. Wait, I need 2 Leaf Stones? Oh no. I forgot I didn't get Vileplume. I like that winter's a particular type of cold where you can feel your bone marrow, but I know that's almost equally bad as the average modern summer, okay, hotter than the surface of the sun. That's vile. And Plume. Because that's the thing, is like, sunstones are not that difficult to farm, you just gotta win the bug catching contest, and all you have to do that is save the game in front of the bug catching contest and keep playing it till you win. Mankey and Primeape are not in Crystal. Alex Sam, you gotta trade for. Machamp, you gotta trade for. Golem, you gotta trade for. Gengar's a trade. Exeggutor is the other one we need the Leaf Stone for. Yeah. Omanite and Kabuto you can only get from Red, Blue, and Yellow. Same with Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. And Mewtwo, of course. Gotta trade for Cyndaquil and Totodile. It is crazy that you never see the other starter at all. Except for the Cal battle. Mareep is not in Crystal for some reason. Sudowoodo, that's Politoed we gotta trade for. It's crazy how many Pokemon you just never even see. Girafareg's not in Crystal, Slowking's a trade, Steelix is trade. Quillfish. That's Scizor, which you have to trade. Remoraid, Noctillery's not in Crystal. Kingdra's a trade. The hell's between Donphan and Stantler? Yeah, I meant Sunstones. I apologize. I don't know what I said. Porygon 2? Okay. Yeah, so really, we just need 2 Leaf Stones. I got Leaf Stones on the brain. It's all I can think about. They never leaf my mind. Ooh, hey, let's do our TCG pocket pulls. Everybody grab your TCG pocket, and let's all pull our booster pack for today together. Thinking, well, if they're easy to farm, why aren't you doing that? Yeah, I wish they were. Shit, dude, like, Kanto's right over there. Why can't I just go to Celadon and buy them? I mean, I get not having the regular evolution stones available in the main story, but they should just let me have them in post-game. I mean, really, bro. Swoobat, Lily, Clefable, Carablast. Ooh, I got a full art Gulpin, and that's a new one. It's super cute, too. See, you guys are still my good luck charm. So fuck you if I had to wager a little guess. Yeah, probably that. Also, it may be more incentive to trade with people who have red, blue, and yellow. No Plume, no Q-Tor. Second Leaf Stone just doubled the runtime of the crystal streams. She's gotta call me about it eventually, right? Right? See, like 5 years from now, I'm gonna have beaten like 200 games on stream, and we'll still be playing Crystal, trying to get her to give us 2 Leaf Stones. Twice, though? Twice the leaf, twice the stones. Announce your streaming retirement in 20XX. One final crystal stream, she finally calls. For the first time. Yeah, I can't retire from streaming until I get both Leaf Stones, so that guarantees at least another couple decades. I'm gonna be Granny Mouse, finally waiting for Liz to call me about a Leaf Stone. Grand Mouse the Rock Monarch. Nobody's gonna get that reference. Wait a fucking minute. It's not Liz, it's Gina. Really? Okay, is it Liz or Gina? Give me just a second. I'm getting conflicting information. Half the things are saying it's Liz, half are saying it's Gina. Moopot, leave Ben alone. Holy shit. Glad now we caught our dad. Here's a new joke. Otherwise, I'd be out of a job. Liz called you last stream. Can you only call about... No, they can call about all kinds of stuff. Only seen Gina. Our beloved voice actress. That is a joke for Maddie. Okay. Okay, sorry, Liz. I enjoy our little talks. Goodbye. That's actually one thing I really like that they fixed in Heart Gold and Soul Silver is you doesn't really have a limit. You can just get everybody's phone number. Battle for everyone's phones. Apologize for your YouTube video in the background. I'm looking at it specifically to make sure. Puff the jiggles. You there, cheerleader? Yes. Kinda wanted to add Gina to the Tomo Island. I wouldn't be against it. Well, you know, that's why I haven't been getting any calls about the Leaf Stone. My girl in Crystal got so many girlfriends she can't keep them all straight. Just kidding. They weren't ever straight to begin with. Well, now we could get 6 or quite possibly 7 Leaf Stones by now. But we'd probably have enough because she was available that early in the game. Though I could have swore I had Gina before. See, that's the thing, is like, it is really funny to me that most people whom the 6-7 joke appeals to, their first Pokemon games probably were on the 3DS, which is Generation 6 and Generation 7. Though I gotta say, somebody who was like, I think 19 or 20 or something, calling Pokemon Sun and Moon their childhood game was, painful. No, wait, fuck, that's right. Generation 6 was like fucking 13 years ago. God fucking damn it. I'm sorry, Maddie, but I was very much stuck in the idea that, 2013 being like 7 years ago or something, or 8 years ago. Like 6 or 7 years ago. When do you consider childhood having ended for research? That's kind of vague to me, because, like, when I'm counting games that I quotation marks grew up with, I feel like that ends in high school. But I know a lot of other people don't feel that way. But it's like, also, the older you get, the younger you realize you were. If that makes any sense. Because, like, when you're, like, 22 or something, yeah, when you were, like, 17 or 18, that feels like you weren't that young, but when you get into your 30s, you realize how actually young you were, even at, like, 18, 19, 20. So I guess a lot of it's perspective, but like I said, I feel like the childhood era for me ends at like... So like 15, maybe 16, Sun and Moon came out in 2016, so technically part of my childhood by that metric. Damn. Mots, good evening. It's me, Gavin. How you doing? Let's battle. I'll be waiting on Route 26. Give me a shout when you're close. I'll talk to you soon. Also, here, you guys get a very cute fun fact about me. I had my first ever girlfriend when Gold and Silver were new. And, like, she was also a nerd, and we played Pokemon and stuff together, and all that stuff. Actually, I played Paper Mario for the first time at her house. Yeah, we had this little running joke, because every single one of the phone calls in Gold, Silver, and Crystal ends with click. Which, obviously is supposed to be, them hanging up the phone. But, it appears in the text box, so we had this running joke that that's just what everybody in Johto said when they're ending a phone call. And when we'd have, like, phone calls with each other, we would just say click when we were ending the phone call. Silly little goofy stuff like that. Hi, I've been waiting for you. This time, I'm gonna win. Got a crown card rare candy from you. Holy shit, like the gold one? That's awesome. Like making the static toys while talking on a walkie-talkie. It's freaking awesome, Soda. Hell yeah. See? I told you I thought was a good luck charm. It's like, you have a walkie-talkie, it doesn't have static noise, but you still go over. Everybody grab your favorite sugar-free, caffeine-free beverage of choice. I got my water tumbler right here. A nice big sippy. Everybody unshrimp yourself. Stand up, stretch. Also, make sure to do some wrist stretching exercises and loosen up if you've been drawing or typing a lot today. And try to sleep real. Hopefully tomorrow I can draw some Opie. Good luck, Soda. May the boobs be with you. And hi, Rain. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? I was really looking forward to being half fried and dunked in some sort of red sauce of questionable composition. I mean, you can still do that. I won't stop you. Also, Rain, something went through my head the other day, and I feel like it's within the wheelhouse of your humor. Of like an Abbott and Costello style bit. Where somebody, like, is talking to you, and they're like, oh yeah, I donated some... And, like, the call cuts out, and you're like, you donated some what? And they're like, some blood, Rain. And you're like, why would you donate your PS2 games? Got myself to play something other than boredom rotation. Played Sonic Unleashed. You playing the Wii version or the HD one? Well, I guess the PS2 version also is part of the same as the Wii version, but... Wii version, hell yeah. I don't know why, the Wii version's just a very comfy game for me. Of course, it's the version I had first, because when Sonic Unleashed came out, I did not have a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360. Because honestly, they didn't really have much exclusive that interested me until, like, probably 2010 or so. It's dangerous to have your Sonic unleashed around moving cars. It's mighty irresponsible. Unleashed. Yeah. I've had, I think, every Sonic game that released on the Wii. I mean, Secret Rings is a little iffy, though that's mostly down to the controls. But Sonic had a really good run on Wii. Actually, thinking about it, like I said, aside from Secret Rings' controls, I don't think Sonic had a legitimately bad game on Wii. Yes, I've mentioned this before, but I do consider Sonic 4 Episode 1 to be a decent game. Nothing amazing, but certainly not bad enough for the reputation it gets. You like Black Knight? Hell yeah, Black Knight rules. Like I said, I wish it had a classic controller option and I could just press the Y button to swing the sword, but in all honesty, like, in both Black Knight and in Secret Rings, at least for the stories, like, Sonic is at his most aura farming in those games. And, like, Black Knight in particular is raw as hell. Yeah. It's just one of the rawest fucking games of all time. I can see Sonic Unleashed giving me a head start to the person I am if I had played it as a kid. Maddie, if you had been my younger sibling and not too far in age from where you are now, you probably would have had a phase of your life where Sonic Unleashed, specifically the Wii version, was your entire personality. Knights of the Wind constantly plays in my head. And I sit. And I stand. Okay, I've listened to the Triple Q remix so many times, I legitimately started fucking singing, Absolute Territory. Almost. Through the sword, I eat ham. My will to fight the night. I think that, Black Knight was actually the last, Sonic game where Crush 40 did the majority of the vocal tracks, and boy, did they go in. And of course, we have the spicy hot take. Crush 40 did the theme for Team Sonic Racing. I'm not saying, I don't think it was the last one, but I think it was the last one where they were that prominent. Still recovering. Exhausting work week. Slept till like noon. Honestly, I'm glad you got to sleep till noon. I hope it was a good restful sleep. My older brother was into Sonic for a brief period growing up, and I loved watching him play and looking at the manuals of the character descriptions. Even if he had been a big-time fan, I definitely would have followed in that. Okay, Rain, you're going to get a hot take that is also going to sort of kind of be a rant. LD, hi! How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? But, okay. My hot take / rant is that I feel like Sega and Square Enix, and probably a couple other companies too, people gauge the entirety of every, like, how well they're doing, etc. by one singular franchise, and it drives me up the wall. Like, people's opinion on Sega in their entirety is based solely on what they think about Sonic at the moment, and people's opinion on Square entirely is based only on what they're doing with Final Fantasy at the moment. You know, I've seen people say stuff like, oh, Square Enix has really been dropping the ball this generation, when, like, yeah, Final Fantasy 16's divisive, but, like, no, Square's been fucking amazing. They gave us Neo The World Ends With You, which is phenomenal. An amazing remake of Star Ocean 2, back-to-back bangers with Dragon Quest, the HD 2D games, which have all been ranged from pretty good to absolutely amazing. They brought back a bunch of old series, like Visions of Mana was a brand new Mana game. Romancing Saga 2, which was originally a Super Nintendo game, got an amazing remake. So no, Square Enix has been kicking all kinds of ass. It's just that people have been not super into the new Final Fantasy. So they're judging the entirety of the company on the one game that they actually engage with. A lot of my interest in kids as a kid came from the stuff my brother was into. Okay, been in a bit of a mood slump, but it's all good. Well, I will hopefully help unslump all of you. Unslump! I will use my mousy magic to help you feel better. I think it's mostly because those are the biggest, and most people don't interact with what they've made past that. Cuddle pile time! Hell yeah! You know, sometimes it's just the right time to just flop all over and cuddle with the homies. Because, like, fun fact, IRL, I am, despite, you know, being, like, neurodivergent and occasionally avoiding, oh, not occasionally, oftentimes avoiding social situations, when there's somebody I love and trust and want to be around, I am a cuddle baby. I am a little snuggle mouse. With consent, of course. I would never, like, cuddle and snuggle on somebody who's not into it, but, like, if somebody wants to cuddle and hug, I am absolutely the one who will do that. Oh, to be a human braid with trusted friends. Very true. Been listening to Street Cat by Flavor Foley on repeat for the brief period I was listening. I forgot how much my soul is in that song. You should, like, DM it to me so I can listen to it or something. Probably send it to me on Discord. So I feel like I've heard of it, but I can't recall what it is right now. Sweet. I will check it out after stream. Yeah, occasionally me being a snuggle cuddle baby backfires. Specifically with Dot, because she does not seem to understand the difference in making biscuits during the winter when I'm wearing, like, thick leggings and 2 layers of sweater, and making biscuits on me in the summer when I am wearing, like, a cut-off t-shirt and really short shorts, and she's just digging into my bare flesh and is wondering why I'm upset. In active memory, I've cuddled with one singular person in my whole life for a short time. It was more like we were packed anchovies than cuddling, but I would accept that. Hard life being both touch-starved and touch-averse. Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know for me, a lot of mine is people I don't know touching me averse. Because again, once I'm comfy, then, like, I will become cuddle baby. It's just for a lot of people, they don't want to put in the effort to get over that wall. And it's one thing I miss, because, like, Mom and I would also just, like, if we were near each other, we'd just, like, casually, like, Mom would braid my hair, or, you know, just, like, flop her head on my shoulder, I'd flop my head on her shoulder if we were sitting close to each other or something. You know, or just, like, one of the booths over at, like, McDonald's or something, we'd just sit with our legs just, like, touching each other, you know, just, like, sitting right side by side. And, like, I don't want to get into too much sad mode, but it's like, I realized since I lost Mom, I've barely physically touched anybody. Depends on that and the present moment. More so than what I assume would be normal. I feel like I'd end up becoming a cuddle bug, but it definitely has to be with the right people, yeah. I don't have many cat-like behaviors, but that's one of them. Also in the touch-starved, touch-averse role. Ah, LD, I'm sorry. But again, like, I feel like I was very fortunate, again, because my mom was also in the same thing where she was a cuddle person, but it had to be with somebody she trusted. And, like, let's go, autistic ADHD people with overlapping tisms. My mom even stands too close to me. Yeah, I understand, LD. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have the mother that I did have. But for a lot of people, like, they don't want their parents anywhere near them. And I don't blame them. Type of person, neurodivergent, who works in what I call modes. If I'm not in a touch mode, any touch will drive me mad. Even the sweetest kisses rubbing my leg, sweetest kitties rubbing my legs. Understandable. No, that's the thing. That's why I say, like, even with somebody that I would have, like, cuddled with before, I would always be like, you know, you want to? Hug, snuggles? Or, you know, like, give them a little bit of indication. And if they're like, as much of a cuddler I am, like, especially in the summer, if I feel sweaty and gross, I don't want to touch anything or anyone. I'm not trying to TMI there, I apologize. Dinky, dink, dink, dinky. Gina, please call me Gina. Sometimes I like cuddle time, but it depends on the kind of brain that I have that day. I like more so being like furniture in cuddles. Otherwise, I might fight people. That's so exciting, though. Will I get the snuggle LD or the step on me LD? The hand that feeds or the bite? And by being the furniture, I'm guessing you mean like the person that kind of gets like flopped onto. LD's RNG adventure. I could really go either way with it, honestly. I legitimately can't even remember the last time I've cuddled, honestly. Hi, 7th. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? We all touch starved up in here. I've been told I am comfortable by that one person. Cool. I mean, you're definitely comfortable to be around in, like, conversations and stuff, so I would imagine that extends. Welcome to the cuddle pile of the mentally slumped. Also, that totally reminds me of something, is like, there's a... I don't know if friend is pushing too far, because being neurodivergent makes it hard to gauge the friendometer, but it's somebody, like, I regularly talk to every now and then, and there's someone who is also, like, queer, but, like, wasn't in a place where they had many other people to talk to about it, so I kind of became somebody they could talk to. But they don't work at the McDonald's I go to all the time. They work at another one. But they were just, like, offhandedly mentioning, you know, talking about how busy it was, and they were saying that, you know, they got murdered for breakfast, which, like, breakfast time, because I've seen breakfast time even at the McDonald's I go to, and, like, the drive-thru is packed the entire time. And I was just thinking that, like, Murder for Breakfast would be a fantastic name for a grunge band. I get, like, static, warbly feelings when people get too close for that. I'd like for that to go away eventually. Once you have people you're comfortable around and get more accustomed to people being in physical contact with you, that eventually goes away. I can tell you that from experience. Comes with a free Knuckles sandwich. Oh boy, I love Sonic and Knuckles. Mats, are you raising your Pokemon properly? I read in a book that you should raise any Pokemon you catch with love and care. By the way, a wild hoot escaped on me yesterday. A computational error on my part. See you later! Call me, Gina, won't you call me? Gina, please call me, I need my tree. Oh, Gina, Gina, won't you call me so I can turn my eggs into a tree? And a free Chaos Baja Blast. Chaos. You know, as big of a Final Fantasy nerd as I am, I have still not picked up Stranger of Paradise. I'm trying to think, are there really any other Final Fantasy games I don't have? I don't have the 012 Dissidia that came out, the second one that came out for PSP. Not because I don't want it, I just keep forgetting to buy it. The combo of being touch-averse, neurodivergent, and acts of affection being rewards or forced at family event has turned me off to it, but the concept sounds nice. Yeah, well again, I also did not have it pushed on me to physically touch people I did not want to be around. because my mom was very calm and understanding about that. She was also, like... I'm trying to think how to describe it. She knew if I didn't want to interact with somebody, especially in her family, that I probably had a good reason. I'm not saying it's anything, like, horrible or insidious that you'd go to the cops about. I'm just saying, like, if somebody, like, I just didn't like... I didn't really just not like people for no reason, and she trusted my perception pretty well. Or she'd be like, yeah, I don't like them that much either. Of course Chaos is a mode of Baja Blast. How else do you think he hurts everyone? I also don't know how to hug people because of this, and it makes every hug worse because I feel awkward, like I'm messing it up, so I don't even enjoy, like, a platitude hug. Don't worry, I will give you a full-on hug tutorial whenever we hang out IRL. I am a professional hugger. My mom did win at life. I'll break your spine. Thankfully, I keep an extra spine in my back pocket. Okay, first you do a 360 punch and put second profit. You know, that reminds me of something, gosh, this is so long ago, but, it's very funny. We both know women's pants don't get pockets. God damn it. You got me. Keep an extra spinal if you've got that killer instinct. But no, long ago, probably like 2013, 14, my mom had this cat that she had had for about 10 years. And when she was like 9 or 10 years old, she had 2 kittens. And then 6 months later had another... No, she had 1 kitten. Not even a litter and the rest of them died. She literally just had 1 kitten. And then 3 months later, she had 2 more. Again, a litter of just 2. This cat had a lot of health issues. Like, we did our best to take care of her. It's just... I'm pretty sure that her uncle and her dad were the same person? Or the same cat, I guess. So she was born with a lot of health issues. And she had never gotten pregnant before. So the fact that she got pregnant twice in, like, the last 8 months of her life, and, like, she died not too long after the other 2 kittens were born, so she never got to, like, nurse them or anything. Like, we're talking, like, days after they were born. So I bottle-fed and raised both of them. And, I vividly remember just sitting on the floor in the living room in the middle of the night. And this also overlapped when I was super into Street Fighter. Specifically, I had been playing a lot of Third Strike and a lot of Ultimate Street Fighter 2 on the Anniversary Collection. I think it was called, like... They weren't calling it Ultra Street Fighter 2 in that collection, were they? Because I know the Switch version's Ultra Street Fighter 2. Taught the cats how to fight. Well, ironically, no, but I'll get to that in a minute. Hyper, that one's Hyper. Yeah, but I was really into Hyper Street Fighter 2 and Third Strike. No, it's not Super Turbo that's in that Anniversary Collection, Ben. It is a bespoke version, because you know how in Ultra Street Fighter 2 on Switch, it will let you switch between the different versions of each character from every iteration of Street Fighter 2? That was originally in the Anniversary Collection's Hyper Street Fighter 2. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have been more specific. I meant the PS2 Anniversary Collection. But yeah, I was really into playing both of those, and all of the character win quotes were stuck in my head for some reason. But specifically Zangief's, which, like, it's very out of character for Zangief. You know, his whole, next time we meet, I'll break both your arms. So I'm sitting here at fucking 3 a.m. bottle feeding this kitten, singing to myself, I'm only gonna break your arms. I'm only gonna break your arms. If you call for me, I'll fight you for free. But I may cause you harm. I may cause you harm. I may cause you harm. I'm only gonna break your arms. Every single cat I've had throughout my life has been a rescue. And of the 2 that passed away, both came directly to me the last day they were alive. Wow. Yeah, so Rain, if you needed any confirmation, I have been writing ridiculous song parodies in my head for most of my life. But I like those arms. They are pretty wild arms. You tell them they must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance. No, I just told them to go home and be a family man. But no, the thing is, also, my mom, named the one cat from her first litter, was all, like, gunmetal gray. And my mom named him Alphonse because he's all gray and it's a miracle that he's alive. Yeah, from Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist. And of course, I am sure that Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist would be flattered to have a cat named after him. But, Alphonse actually litter trained the other 2. Oh, and also, their names are Cloud and Cosmos, by the way. But, both Cloud and Cosmos got that weird eyeball melting infection, you know, that makes, like, one eye bloat up the kittens get occasionally. So they both lost one eye, but they lost the opposite eye of each other when they were little kittens. I wouldn't be upset if my soul got stuck in a kitten versus a suit of armor, even if the armor's rad. First Cloud Junior bird in Rebirth, and now there's a Cloud cat. Character design. Also, the thing is, a lot of times when they were very little kittens, they would crawl up my bed and sleep in my hair, because I even back then I still had long hair. And it was very cute, and eventually Cosmos stopped doing this, and he'd like sleep at my feet or sleep on my tummy or something. But Cloud never grew out of this, but did not seem to realize how big he was, because both of these cats got huge. And Cloud would put his feet and butt in my hair and lay across my face, and I'm trying to get him to understand he is suffocating me. Actually reminds me, Demons of the Shadow Realm is being animated by Studio Bones, because it's also the same mangaka as FMA. They decided to reference FMA in the next episode. Actually give it a payoff. Those who are trusted by cats are truly best. It's just where he goes. But yeah, I actually do want to watch Demons of the Shadow Realm. I just am having the usual neurodivergent issue of having a difficult time getting myself to start anything. Try not having such a sittable face. I'm sorry, but that's one thing I just can't do. The face, the eternal cat butt, such is your fate. But yeah, the thing with Cloud and Cosmos and Alphonse is they never fought each other. They never did any of the territorial bullshit. They never did any of the stuff that, like, is stereotypical of male cats. They got along, they were snuggly, they were babies, they were very cute. They never marked anything in the house, even when they got big. No civil wars for the kitties. Good. Also, my mic didn't cut off. My brain just kind of froze for a minute. Sometimes I just go clicky the A button and my brain don't thinky. Brain freeze! Wait, you guys think? You're not even in the fridge! Well, I'm kind of hoping maybe if I think frozen thoughts, then the rest of my body will cool down too. Remember, to think frozen thoughts, you just have to let it go. Thinking makes the brain overheat, though. That is the paradox. Well, maybe that's why a brain freeze, you stop thinking, so you can, like, let it cool down. I mean, I feel like that actually is a reason why so many neurodivergent people are so perpetually sleepy and exhausted, is because the brains don't really stop. And also probably why so many of us are attracted to, you know, songs with a million layers, or, you know, listening to music and watching a YouTube video while playing a video game, and possibly having something open on your phone that you're scrolling. So your brain can finally get enough to where it's not running around on its own. There's a go button, and once you press it, it can never be unpressed. Because I remember, like, this is like way back when I had cable and stuff, when there was actually stuff worth watching. Ah, the classic pentuple entendre. I was watching something and, you know, just like... I don't even remember what channel it was on, but it was having like a little commercial break that had like a little meditation tutorial or whatever. And it was like, clear your mind. And I'm like, how the hell do you even do that? You know, this is long before I knew I was neurodivergent or anything like that. So I'm just like, what do you mean clear your mind? Think of clear things. Like, those little cartridge holding cases for Game Boy games? Factory fresh window pane. Ah, some good old fresh pain. That 1C. Let me be clear, camouflage to look invisible like an octopus. I want to be clear. Clear! Dang. Give Ben back his Coke, he's probably thirsty. Wait. Look invisible like an octopus. Metal Gear Solid 4 reference. Who up nanoing their machines? You know, okay, Rain, you're gonna get like a bonus, very tiny, spicy hot take on top of your other spicy hot take that's unrelated. As much as I really do love the modern Pokemon games and stuff on Switch, I feel like the series moving toward... Well, and it's a natural progression, it's not anything weird or different or anything, but I feel like the series moving toward more modern and complex games has really lost one of the basic accessibility things of Pokemon, because a lot of the games prior to, like... Well, shit, honestly, prior to ZA and Legends Arceus, you know, like, you really only needed something to move with, like analog stick or D-pad, a menu button, a confirm button, and a cancel button, and maybe an item hotkey button. Like, there are other functions and stuff, but, like, you essentially didn't need that much. And it was really accessible for people who maybe only had one functional hand or limited mobility. I don't know why, but ever since playing Deadlock with a friend, I just began saying hee hee anytime did something Deadlock. Super annoying to the enemies. Literally so clear. The rain is gone. Deny their cis. I'll deny their CS. But you said you'll deny that they're cis, and I'm like, dang. Just pointing directly into, like, egg. Deny the CS and go, hee hee. Yeah, that's Wit's job. You awake now, Mots? Hey, let's battle our Pokemon. I won't use you in battling or in the bug catching contest. I'll be on Route 35. Let's talk again, huh? Egg. Crap, guys. She knows I'm an elemental gimmick gear. I wish I could evolve my eggs, but Gina won't call me. Please ignore the fact that I did not have Gina's number for, like, most of the game. Sheesh. You've been ignoring her for months. What do you expect? Listen. Shit. Good, I'm glad you're listening. That's all. That's the tweet. Listen up, here's the story. Go on, little one. I feel like you're beckoning me toward a delicious morsel of cheese. About a little guy that lives in a blue world. Turning over a new leaf? Is it a new leaf stone? Do you have a leaf stone, Arnie? Give it to me. Your leaf stone is mine. You know, I am definitely very hot and cold with Mortal Kombat. And I don't really enjoy the direction of the modern games very much. But, shit, I wish I could remember his name. He's an amazing actor. Yeah, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa. Yeah, like getting him to play Shang Tsung. I love that Ben just already knew what I was talking about. But having him play Shang Tsung in all of the modern... Well, I think he actually has passed away, unfortunately. But still, like, having him be Shang Tsung in all the modern stuff, it just, like, is so good. All the leaf stones are mine to keep. Because, okay, here's the thing, is, like, I have a lot of issues with Mortal Kombat. My favorite Mortal Kombat thing is the first live-action movie from the 90s. It's really fun. Mom and I used to quote it all the time. Yes, I don't know what they were thinking making a PG-13 Mortal Kombat movie, but to me it came out as a really fun movie. Fighting Game Nut, of course I knew with this info off the bat, yeah. Of course, like, freaking... Kari Tagawa was fucking amazing in everything he was in. It's just kind of awesome seeing that, like, his legacy as that character is still lived on, like, decades later. They also brought the movie version of Shang Tsung, Raiden, or I guess it's Raiden in Mortal Kombat, I'm sorry. Shang Tsung, Raiden, Johnny Cage, and Sonya in 11. That is actually really neat. Like I said, okay, my thing that I really do not like about Mortal Kombat, and this is the reason why I really don't engage with the series. I don't really like the characters killing each other, because I actually do like all the characters. But the thing is, if there isn't any more ridiculous violence, then it's not really Mortal Kombat at all anymore. Yes, I'm very aware that in the 90s there was a Saturday morning cartoon of Mortal Kombat. But, you know, like, I know if all the ridiculous violence isn't there, it's not Mortal Kombat anymore. And I would not want the series to change or be censored. So I will just, like, I understand what it is and why it's like that. I do not want to take away its identity, so I will let it go and not be for me. I mean, look at the MK versus DC that did not go over well. Ironically, that is the Mortal Kombat game I have played the most. One thing I did really like, though, about Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, is that it really did feel like the 16-bit Mortal Kombat games. Like the gameplay and stuff. One fact about Mortal Kombat, I have a friend who loved Mortal Kombat in middle school, and his mom, in an attempt to connect, said, "Mortal Woman." Wow. That's definitely one of those moments, for sure. Put that in your Game Informer. Because, like, there have been numerous times when, I think it was Ono at the time, because I know the Nintendo Power asked in an interview in one of their old magazine interviews about, like, you know, why hasn't there been Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat? And his reply was something along the lines of, we wouldn't really ever want to censor Mortal Kombat, but the Capcom higher-ups are not exactly super keen on Chun-Li getting her spine ripped out. Don't know why, but that one moment is one of my few clear memories from my childhood. I wish I got to see the actual moment. I just remember him recalling it the next day. The closest we will get to Street Fighter vs. Mortal Kombat's the Newgrounds animations. A part of me has always been secretly hoping that maybe like Scorpion or something would be in Super Smash Bros. One day. Also, I know the Sonic one's been confirmed. I don't know if Mega Man's been officially confirmed or just leaked. But yeah, Mega Man and Sonic are officially in Fortnite. And I'm like, maybe that would have finally got me to at least touch it. But now that they're doing AI bullshit, no, never. Not even Mega Man and Sonic can pull me in. Crash is there too, and he looks awful. He looks like some weird hybrid between Crash 4 and that fucking figurine from the last Skylanders game. Don't think that will, maybe with WB and all that. Yeah, fuck Fortnite. Fuck Epic Games. Fuck the thing they turned into. Write a letter to Nintendo. I did. I chose the letter A. Half the crossover characters in there get fucked up bad. It looks like he got stung by a ton of bees. Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, with Fortnite, they want to do all these crossovers, but, the Surskit cry. But yeah, like, all the Fortnite characters, they have to kind of conform their proportions to average human. So when they bring in characters that are not that, they just look really jank and awkward. Because, like I said, Fortnite used to be one of those things that I just calmly ignore and wish that a game about microtransactions wasn't so popular. But now that they're actively using AI shit, I'm like, no, fuck off. Go to hell. You literally have one of the most financially successful games in existence. You can afford to pay a fucking artist. You can afford to pay fucking voice actors. But that's the thing is, like, it's always giant companies who want to use AI shit. I mean, honestly, Fortnite's one of the first games I think of that would fall into the AI sewage pit. Fair enough. Like, even from the jump, they were plagiarizing dances. Just fucking pay people what they're worth. It's not hard. I mean, actually, it's significantly easier than trying to do all this shit, because they spend so much money trying to get around paying people, and all of that shit always fails, and it just comes back to, you know, actually paying people what they're worth. I do not like how most of the Street Fighter characters look in that game. And, again, if Sora actually ends up being in there, I'm like, okay, I guess Disney's just cool with him pulling a Glock on Vegeta or whatever. They gotta find a use for AI to prove that it's actually useful, and useful. What are they gonna do if it's not? Everything would fall apart. Also, the people in charge of these companies have literally no forethought, and this is coming from someone who also has no forethought. Paying people when they do work for you? But think of big number in my bank account, please. Won't somebody please think of the shareholders? Sure, we burned down 500 rainforests and everything near this place looks like a desert, but there's a dog in a funny hat. I wish someone would share me and hold me. Yeah. Number go up forever, number never go down bad. I mean, the rainforests ain't making money, it's gotta go. It's also funny to me that, like, so many of these companies know how reviled and disgusting AI is. Because, again, like, it has become shorthand among, like, preteens and stuff for something that's lazy, shitty, and poorly done. So it's like, it's already trending to be hated. Because again, it's like, I think about the Twitch thing, where it's like, well, if we made it opt-in, nobody would opt in. Then why the fuck is it there? And if the world gets to the point where it's unlivable, they'll just build bases on the moon or something. And everyone's invited as long as you're wealthy. You know, when they talk about how the AI data centers basically, like, suck up all this water and ruin everything around them, it's like, it still fucking reminds me of, the whole thing in Final Fantasy VII, like, wherever there are Mako reactors, all of the rest of the beautiful greenery on the world map will be dried up and, like, you know, like, withered and everything. But specifically only around the Mako reactors, and it's like, guys, it has been 30 fucking years. We knew this already. We've been warned about this already. Can we do a France already? Guillotine's getting rusty. Like I said, corrupt billionaires got you down. Call Splunk Dinko. We gotta pour this finite resource into this machine so we can finally see boobs. The more baffling part is how people fell for the AI trap. Dad refuses to turn on a light without using Alexa. We cannot wrap my head around it. Okay, LD, you know what fucks me up about people like that? Is it's always the exact same people who used to, like, hate their smartphones and all that shit. And I'm like, okay, you hate a thing that makes people's lives better, but if there's something that you know is terrible and making people's lives worse, then you have to indulge in it. Also, literally the entire world, except for the majority of America, is going to clean energy. Yeah, the same people who called me lazy all my life now cannot walk to a light switch and press it. It drives me up the fucking wall. Because, you see, sadly, as much as I hate to say it, I feel like the reason why AI art, massive quotation marks are on both those, well, I guess AI image generation is what I'll call it, I think was so easily accepted by so many people at first, is because I feel like a lot of people, what AI image generation is what a lot of people thought digital art was for a long time. Because a lot of people, I'm not fucking kidding, legitimately thought if you had something like Photoshop or Clip Studio, that it would do most of the drawing for you. The eternal trap of being both in a path of least resistance follower and a contrarian. It must be fucking exhausting. Solar is so effective that it literally makes energy for free, and energy companies don't want that because they don't make money anymore. Well, again, like every law and policy in the US are almost all exclusively to benefit major companies. But yeah, it fucking amazes me the lengths people will go to be lazy. And I'm not talking about, like, people with executive dysfunction. I'm talking about, like, people constantly wanting to do less, even though the way they go about it to do that less ends up being more actual effort than just doing the thing. Because it's funny, like, as much as I do really like cool new technology and stuff like that, fun me fact, I have literally 0 smart appliances. I do not have Alexa or Google Dot or whatever. I have none of that in my house, and I do not like any of it. My oldest brother, I fear, is falling into that. He's fallen into a lot of previous things like crypto and NFTs, but he thinks he's above it because he's distributing, despite also participating. But don't pay attention to that because it doesn't suit his narrative. I'm so sorry, Maddie. I don't know how to explain eloquently, but AI image generation gives you the vibe of a dog pissing on everything so it can mark its territory. Illustration is one thing companies can never do or sell by themselves unless they put an ounce of effort, so they have to have it and piss all over it. Yeah. Smart appliances seem weird to me. Not like CEOs. Yeah. I know what you mean. He's already taken a piece of my art and trained AI on it, and I'm still pissed. I would be too, Maddie. Like, disown him. Throw him out of the house. Physically pick him up and throw him out of your house. And yeah, Maddie, I remember you telling me about that too. Like, I'm still mad about that. Now that I remember what you're talking about. Oldest brother's the type to think he's the smartest in the room while having shit in his pants. Yeah. Hey, do you mind if I just talk to your brother real quick? I say I'm pumping a shotgun. You know, it's like, I don't know much about your circumstances, Rain, but it's like, LD and Maddie, both of you amaze me because you are just two of the most wonderful, sweetest, understanding people. And it's like you're both the miracle out of your family because everything both of you have told me about your families is like, they're all like the diametric opposite of both of you. My mom took down paintings I made with actual paint, replaced them. What the fuck? No, I'm sorry, LD. I'm officially mad about that. I officially have beef, more beef with people I don't know. Like, I know there's the meme about like the anime girl cracking her knuckles is like when your homies are trauma dumping and suddenly you got beef with people you never met. I have beef with people I never met. Okay, the thing is framed AI photos is like, no, like that shit was fucking intentional. Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't think they did that just out randomness. I think that was specifically to hurt you, and I am mad about that. Holy fucking shit. Okay, I need to calm down. Yeah, literal, actual soulless. Like, that's fucking sociopath behavior to me. I'm sorry. Dad's very much like that. Still baffled related to him. My mom's tried getting me to do NFTs. Her case of naivete, likely led by my brother. Again, I just don't understand how both of you can be such wonderful people and be so brilliant. And like, I can almost understand siblings being kind of awful because you don't know the people they're around and what directions they can be led into. But it's like, I guess because I'm so much like my mom, I wish I was as cool, but you know, like, you know, I'm so much like my mom, and I guess I just assume that like cool people must have also had cool parents, but that very much does not seem to be the case. Granted, my mom was also one of those people where like, some of her siblings were okay, but like her parents were not great. Don't get me wrong, I love my mom, but she definitely makes some choices and does not consider my emotions or dignity in most cases. Only asked once about it, and she got the message after I communicated it to her. Now more than ever, I'm so thankful my mom actually has media literacy. No, but I guess I'm in the classic trans woman thing. It's like, I will never become my father. Asterix becomes my mother. No, I kid you not, Rain. It's like, this has been a few months ago now because it wasn't summer, so it wasn't miserably hot. But, you know, I was just, like, messing around with a few more, like, feminine clothes and feminine looks and stuff when I was at home by myself. I look in the mirror and I fucking jump scared myself because I actually looked like a younger version of my mom. You want to know the kicker? The painting was an ocean scene I did in college, and she replaced it with an AI sketch of a raccoon sitting on a toilet with toilet paper. That's like a metaphor for her entire personality. Worst possible use of a raccoon, absolutely. I mean, if there is one thing that this whole thing with AI image generation has been like a positive, I feel like it's made not only... Well, it has made a lot of people appreciate the flaws and effort of human art. And I feel like it has also helped a lot of people be more encouraged to get into actually illustrating them for themselves. Because they realize that the flaws are an important part of it. They're an important part of the whole, not only the process, but like of the art. Because like I have become a lot more accepting of my own like art style and stuff like that in the last couple of years. Because like I used to always want my stuff to look exactly like, you know, this or that anime from the 90s or whatever. Or certain video game art styles or whatever. But it's like now I've kind of been more accepting of the natural quirks of how I draw. If you don't like using AI art, then draw me new pictures I can put up. Like remembering the details of what happened and erasing it from my memory immediately. Here, I'll give you a contrast for that, at least. In first grade, or second grade, maybe, we did this little art project, where we, like, took a wire coat hanger and, like, pulled it out into, like, a diamond shape, and then did, like, little paper, like, kind of used construction paper and turned it into a little character with like a face and everything on it. So of course I had one too. Is red. His name was Hank, like Hangk. And of course I proudly brought it home. And I kid you not, Hank has been on some wall in whatever house we lived in for like over 30 years at this point. And he is still technically hanging in front of a Super Smash Bros. Poster in the back of the living room right now. And my mom wanted to make sure he was always hanging somewhere, because I remember like I was putting stuff away, like redoing parts of the wall, and I was like putting Hank down on the floor, and Mom's like, Hank! And she picks him up and puts him back on the wall, and I'm like, okay. She also has a little clay pot that I made in school that I put a ring around. I don't know why. Well, it's not really a pot. It's like... shit, it's only really about the size of, like, maybe the average medicine bottle. It has no practical purpose, but that is something that, again, is probably almost 30 years old, and my mom has hung onto it this entire time. And it is, like, also in... it is right now on the piece of furniture beside my PS5. Here, catching up on chat, give me a sec. My dad's never gotten to or cared about any type of creative thing. Best I got was him wanting me to recreate things he saw online and sell and pocket it all, of course. But I stopped once he became harder to work with than a toddler. I need to start forcing myself to actually do things I want to. I'm tired of getting in the way of myself. Kick my own ass for doing so. I mean, honestly, that's been such a hard thing for me too. But it's like I said before, I think on Tuesday's stream, is like, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to get yourself started, but once you can actually get going, it like gets easier. One thing that made me stop is when he wanted me to recreate an ocean scene. All I wanted to do palm tree leaves hanging over the viewer's perspective. I said that there aren't any trees in the ocean. To any counterpoint I had, god fucking damn. Maybe 2017 or 18. The conversation has gone and evolved throughout the night. I'm suddenly very happy about my parents always displaying all my art that my brother and I have made over the years, mostly during high school. Dads with emotional maturity of toddlers club. Can't relate. I never had a dad. My 1-year-old niece is more mentally resilient, and it's not even close. Hi, Dana. Mods? It's me, Dana. My Psyduck is getting prettier. I've been taking photos galore. It only took an instant to KO a wild Meowth. It must be because you gave me some battling tips last time. See ya! Click. Though honestly, seeing everyone else's experience, kinda glad I didn't have to deal with having a father. Multiple family members have asked for stuff since then, but my art's only reserved for trusted people. Very much understandable. Well, again, if they ever ask for anything, you start bringing up payment into the equation, and they'll back off real fast. There aren't any birds on paper. How can I draw a bird? No, actually, that's like one of the weirdest... Okay, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like that's one of the biggest media literacy, like, indicators, or lack thereof, rather, is people who sit there nitpicking how realistic a work of fiction is, instead of thinking about, okay, but why would the author put that in here? They're like, ooh, it's like, let's say it's a romance or like kind of ecchi anime, and of course, the lead girl has big boobs or something. It's never like, oh, I get it. It's because, like, you don't take that literally, but it's like because when you're young and horny and stuff, all boobs look like this huge thing that grabs your eyeballs. Oh, no, it's like, instead it's like, wow, she must have a lot of back problems. My mom has literally told me that she's doing the silent divorce thing. I had a feeling it was like that for a long time, but at the same time, even being aware of that, my heart breaks for her. Like, because you in context, what my dad was like, I'm sorry, Rain. My mom also isn't really supportive other than one very awful comment. It's been at least comparable to a thumbs up. But yeah, I feel like one of the biggest, like, media literacy checks is if people are sitting there unironically complaining how something in a work of fiction, just... Unless it is a work of fiction that's reaching to literally, like, say, oh, this is what it's actually like, and getting it wrong, I get that. But I'm saying, like, if you're watching fucking Dragon Ball Z and you're like, people can't actually fly. It's like, go home. You are not engaging with the art. I guess 2 comments where anytime I drew a woman, she'd over-sexualize it. But I think she just has the mental lapse for a year or so, where she was making everything sexual. Saying it like it's normal, but trust me, I know it's not. Yeah. Well, again, like, neurodivergent is usually an inherited thing. And I feel like a lot of people who are more closed-minded, like I said, I think Maddie coined the term normie divergent or whatever. Like, they never address their neurodivergencies and never figure out how to adapt to that in their life. Was that me? I don't know, if there's ever anything clever, I just assume you said it, Maddie. It's a good assumption to make, yeah. Maddie, big brain, big cute. Granted, like, everyone in my chat is super cute, so, whatever. Aw, thanks. That's true. Hey Ben, since I know you're a fighting game enthusiast, and Seventh is probably going to be familiar with this too. Does anybody remember that awful ass Xbox Live arcade quotation mark stick from Mad Catz that's like a square shape? Seventh, I have seen you live streaming with the face cam, and you are a heckin' cutie patootie. So don't you even give me that. No, not the Street Fighter 4 one. It's like perfectly square. This is before Mad Catz was doing like the high-end arcade sticks. But it was like made... It was so goofy because it has 2 analog sticks. But the first one... not the first one, but the left analog stick was like a fucking foot tall. And... like, it had the 4 face buttons, and it was this weird size and shape where you couldn't really grip it comfortably with your hand, but you couldn't set it down and mash on it like an arcade stick either. Gosh, I wish I could, like... I'll go see if I can find it and link it in the chat. Give me just a sec here, because, like... Okay, I found it. Give me just a sec. I'm trying to find a picture that's not cropped. Okay, give me just a sec here. Yeah, this thing. It is so freaking janky. I kind of want one. Give in to the cuteness. Let it dissolve you like a bath bomb. It's like, I want this just to do the stupidest fucking challenge runs. Because, dude, okay, keep in mind, this is a wired Xbox 360 controller, so it'll work with PC. You could play any game on Steam with this. The device. It's like... And, like, the shoulder buttons and stuff are actually on, like, the freaking shoulders here. It's, like, it's so ridiculous, and I kind of want one. I really like derpy controllers. This is the kind of controller that a 2000s cartoon would draw. Absolutely. I could see, like, Ed, and Eddie playing with that controller. I thought you were talking about an arcade stick, not whatever the fuck that is. Well, no, that's why I was having a hard time drawing it, because it's a stick, and it's made for Xbox Live Arcade. But, it's, like, not really what you'd think of as an arcade stick. Because I think the original release version actually came with some, like, a download code for a couple XBLA games. Like, more arcadey ones, I think, like, the digital release of, like, Pac-Man or something else. But the thing is, that's not a micro switch stick or anything like that on the left analog side. It's just an Xbox 360 left analog stick. So it does not have, like, 8 directional movement. So it's actually completely useless for something like Pac-Man or Galaga or whatever. Kind of reminds me of this weird thing a lot of modern 2D games have when they're giving you the tutorial on how to move or make menu selections, and they're telling you to, like, move with the left stick, and I'm like, bro, not in a 2D game. What are we doing here? Just trying to replicate the Atari controller turned into an abomination. I know there are some mice that are designed for one-handed computer use, but I kind of want to get one for gaming. I mean, I'm a mouse that's designed for one-handed use. But no, I really do love, like, getting really weird and jank controllers and stuff. Walked right into that one, huh? Prove it. Get cupped by one hand. Please. Gently lift the mouse. Ooh. You know, I'm gonna have to start freaking keeping snacks in my immediate proximity when I stream. Because, man, I made sure to eat before I started stream, and I'm already hungry. It has not even been 2 hours. Snacks. Got a nibble. The squeaker hungers. You see, it's funny, I was gonna link that in chat, and I was thinking about some of Seventh's streams a little while ago, and I remembered, oh yeah, I can just put it on display capture and show everybody right away. Also, hi VOD watchers and YouTube chat, you get to look at a funky controller. I've been watching you play Crystal for almost 2 hours, and I haven't absorbed a moment of the gameplay. Well, I mean, to be fair, Maddie, there hasn't been much. I wonder if the VOD people are going to buy that controller now. Sudden random spike in sales of that random-ass Xbox 360 Mad Catz controller. I actually have a collection of Mad Catz PS2 controllers, fun fact. I did not pay more than $5 for a single one of them. The first person to buy that controller gets a free mouse sent to their location. I was just thinking about that. Either no thoughts or deep conversation, not absorbing actual gameplay. Also here, fun fact, there's actually a reason why I sit there always reading everything on screen when I'm playing like a story game, or I'll sit there describing what I'm doing. I actually try to intentionally go out of my way to make my streams listenable without looking at them. I'd appreciate if you stop and look, but that's why I don't really go for visual gags that much or anything. Because I know a lot of my friends like to listen when they're video editing. A lot of people like when they're drawing or whatever. There's no in-between in the Micaiah chat. It's true. But yeah, I figure, well, that's the fun of a grinding stream. It's like we're all sitting around at home like, hey, bro, what you doing? I'm just grinding on some Pokemon. And then, like, you keep the visual fucking... We keep the visual gags for the After Dark streams. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. You can listen, sometimes the dyslexia is occasionally dyslexia. Do the occasional visual gag. But no, the grinding streams are all about hanging out with the homies. There is some gameplay on your screen you can look at if you want to. There's a Poliwhirl reaching for that when your favorite cereal is almost out of stock and you're like, Oh, it's my favorite cereal. I will actually literally die if I don't have it. And of course, it's on the very fucking back of the shelf, and the shelf is just slightly too high for you to reach normally. So you're doing that lean forward reach, but you're also like an adult at a public grocery store, so you don't want to like fucking climb on the shelves like you're a fucking Sun Wukong or some shit. So you're just like been watching, but my eyes are glazed over half the time. Not with it tonight. I will be honest, I am also not with it tonight. So Golbat is after someone snags it first, like, Poliwhirl got my cereal again. We can look at erasing the Poliwhirl and Golbat species from mankind. Nah, they're fine. They're just going on a nice vacation in the Sevi Islands, and they'll be back in September. Today has been a day, and tomorrow will be another. Oh, God. Don't say that. Actually, really, though, don't say that, because you know what? Tomorrow could be fucking awesome. I mean, I got to eat some spicy chicken nuggets at McDonald's on my break today, so that was pretty cool. I used to be with it, but I forgot what it was, and now what I am with isn't it. And what is it is weird and scary. Tomorrow doesn't exist if you just say no. Oh, hi! Thank you so much for the raid, Freezing Inferno. Rain or Maddie, could I get a shout out for Freezing Inferno? Freezing Inferno is also playing Pokemon Crystal. Hell yeah! But hello, welcome in. My name is Mots the Gaming Mouse, aka Mikea. We love to play RPGs, retro, platformers, Metroidvanias, fighting games, and so much more. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, you can go ahead and grab a controller. There's a spot just for you right in front of the big old CRT TV, and we can enjoy our favorite games together. Sweats profusely, hoping Moobot doesn't kick me in the ass. Moobot, leave bed alone. Technically, it is the crystal clear hack, but it's still fun. I played a little bit of that. It is super neat. It feels like it has so much replayability because, you know, there's so many different places you can start and so many different starters you can choose. But what's your team so far in Crystal Clear? We're just playing vanilla regular Crystal. This isn't a Nuzlocke. It's not a special challenge run. It's just me playing some Pokemon Crystal. You can play Crystal Clear in my own time. Yeah, I want to get into it sometime, too. I only played it for, like, maybe an hour or two, but it was really cool. Like, if you wanted to disengage from modern video games, you could live the rest of your life just off of Pokemon ROM hacks and Sonic fan games, and never run out of things to play without spending a dime. Houndoom, Snorlax, Espeon, Rhydon, Dragonair, and Lantern. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and show you the team I'm training up. Because what we've actually done is we played over 200 hours of this Crystal file on stream. We got every single Pokemon that you can get without trading or interacting with another game. The only things we're missing right now are Exeggutor and Vileplume, because I'm waiting on Gina to call me for some Leaf Stones. But we're training up our team to fight Red in the near future. We have our Espeon Jelly Belly. We've got Dorito the Meganium, which is our starter. We have Maxtos the Fearow. Musketeers the Magneton. Ooh, wait, actually, I'll go back through so you can see their moves. But yeah, Bite on Espeon is really good in Gen 2 because it's still a special attack. We got Musketeers, the Magneton, because there's 3 of them. Cheeto Chew, the Quagsire. And Taki, the Arcanine. I did it. I remembered not to call him a Growlithe. No, Taki was stuck as a Growlithe for so long that I still call him a Growlithe whenever I introduce him, like, introduce my team to new people. And the audience goes wild! But yeah, the ROM hack I've been playing in my downtime has been Pokemon Red++, and it is super fun. It also finally fulfills my dream of being able to play a Kanto game with Pokemon besides just Gen 1. Because it's like, it is a Game Boy Color game, Red++, but it has, like... I've encountered stuff up to Gen 3, but it seems to have stuff up to Gen 4. Hi, Cole! How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? We are back at it with Pokemon Crystal doing some grinding. Oop, not Professor Oaks. Oops. Oh, want to get your Pokedex rated? No. Yeah, this is, oop. I wanted to show my first Hall of Fame. I forgot it's a little harder to click through on, the older games. Welcome to the land of the awake. We're waking it. Because, like, I just ran through the Elite Four a couple times just grinding up everybody. This is taking too long. I just wanted to show that, like, the very first time I beat the Elite Four, Taki was still a Growlithe. Oh my gosh, I forgot when you look at this in Crystal, you have to wait for the animations to play out every single time. It's funny, because, like, runs to what have you wrought? Ah! No, I can have my own rot, Maddie. It's fine. If I had my own rot, I'd name it Weiler. Yeah, like, my first time Hall of Fame, like the fucking 20 level gap. So there's Cheeto Chew, Max Toes. And there's Taki still being a Growlithe. My first time through the Elite Four. Tiny guy. It's so funny because, like, everyone else is fully evolved. And then Taki is just this teeny little guy. OMG, Arcanine. Are you making a reference to that one time in the Pokemon English dub where Officer Ginny has her Growlithe be like, Arcanine, use Flamethrower when attacking Team Rocket? I mean, still not as good as the, what is it? The, okay, which one of these Pokemon evolves into Seviper? If you chose Arbok, you were right! She just nicknamed her Growlithe Arcanine. I mean, it does. Gave it the Toxic Stone. Yeah, it's an evolution stone. When given to a Pokemon, it makes them text their ex at 2 a.m. Actually, I really like Zangoose and Seviper, just in general. It is actually crazy because, like, as much as, like, Arbok and Weezing are considered, like, Team Rocket's main Pokemon or whatever, aside from Wobbuffet, Jessie actually had Seviper as her main Pokemon on her team for significantly longer than she had Arbok. As long as you text your X from 3 to 1 a.m., you're good. Zangoose is the X. I love Zangoose's design. I wish it wasn't normal type because I can't use normal Pokemon skillfully. I actually used a Zangoose, finally used one on a team for the first time in my playthrough of Omega Ruby when it first came out. The fusion of Zangief and Geese Howard. Yeah, Zangoose just, like, grabs you and 360 pile drives you off of a roof. I guess that'd just make him Kirby in Smash Brothers. Zangoose and Survivor are Toxic Yuri. You cannot convince me otherwise. Well, yeah, but the thing is, it can't be Toxic Yuri because Zangoose's ability is immunity, which means it can't be poisoned. I also do really love that if you get I love and hate it because it can be annoying sometime. Well, it's normal Yuri from Zangoose's side and Toxic Yuri from Survivor's side. But no, you can get the Horde encounters in Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, and it'll be like 4 Zangoose and 1 Survivor, or 4 Survivor and 1 Zangoose, and they will ignore you and attack each other. Speaking of Toxic X's, I'm going to try to remember to talk to you about something later. Oh. Swords are in X and Y as well. Oh yeah, that's right. Horde encounters were so cool. I was always a little sad that they were just a one-off for Generation 6. Also, there's a really fun thing you can do in the very underrated Xbox 360 RPG Blue Dragon. Is like, you can actually chain encounters together by getting like multiple enemies in like a little like kind of circle thing. I'm trying to remember what that was called in the game, but you can start multiple encounters. But the thing is, enemies in Blue Dragon have like an aggro range like Zangoose and Survivor. So certain types will just fight each other and ignore your party, but you'll get the EXP for those monsters defeating each other. Nothing involving a Toxic X of my own. I didn't figure it was. I'm pretty sure you told me those stories already. But no, that and Horde encounters were so good for EV training. Because I remember, like, when I was super into competitive, especially in Oris, I could, like, have a Pokemon go from, like, just hatched out of the egg to being competitive battle ready in, like, half an hour. Toxic isn't really used for that, but yeah. I really like Survivor's design with how they used the colors. I think it's also because I like poison types. This is kind of random, but does anyone else think the 8-bit Pokemon cries have a certain charm that the later games don't have? Yeah. I do like the fact that in a lot of later games, probably, I think X and Y is when they finally started changing some of them, but, like, I think even, like, up to Black and White, a lot of the Generation 1 and 2 Pokemon still had 8-bit, like, cries. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the modern ones are pretty forgettable. Because, like, I could probably hear any Pokemon cry from Generation 1 or 2 and tell you fairly accurately which Pokemon it is. Though there are some that, like Goldeen, Caterpie, and Butterfree all pretty much have the same one. Rhydon and Charizard have the same one. I mean, I think the thing is, a lot of modern cries are so high fidelity, they just... sound like an animal noise or something. It's like the old move sound bites, they just have some oomph. I've done Pokemon Cry tests for fun, and Gen 7 is where they start falling off. I understand, yeah. Do you agree that you enjoy Kricketune, Leafeon, and Chimecho? I mean, I feel like LD, speaking of what you're saying, like the move sound effects, I think that's why in, like, the last couple of games, they just bring back the Gen 1 sound effects for, like, Psychic and Hyper Beam. Because that's just kind of what those sound like. It's like, with every new Dragon Ball thing, like Super and Daima and all that stuff, things like the key charging and, you know, stuff like the instant transmission and stuff still sound the same as they did, you know, 30, 40 years ago. Chimecho, my beloved. I love that Chimecho got a freaking Mega. That's so awesome. Chimecho is cute and great. I can only remember what they sound like when I hear them, but I definitely do remember them. Proved that to you when we were talking to identify a Bronzor cry? Yeah. Yeah, like Thunder Wave specifically for the new one, it just sounds like static or whatever. Well, I mean, again, it's just like everything's so high fidelity that stuff doesn't really have like that distinctive, oh, how did they use their limited, you know, how did they use the limited means to make this something unique? Instead, it's just like, well, everything's so high fidelity, you can just make it sound regular. Which, again, is why I appreciate them going back and making, like, Psychic and Hyper Beam in the newest games just sound like Psychic and Hyper Beam. They still do it for Hyper Beam, though, so they can just... They just don't, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Confusion and Psychic still sound like... Stylization's what I appreciate. Yeah, for sure. I think that's actually like, okay, I don't think the modern games are sauceless. I don't think they're lacking in artistry or anything like that that people like to say about modern Pokemon games, because they still have residual anger from Sword and Shield not having the full Pokedex all the time. But no, I think one of the issues they have struggled with is finding their balance of what's, like, stylistically and artistically part of Pokemon's identity and what can be made more realistic. Like, again, I think going back to having Psychic and Hyper Beam sound like they do is a part of them kind of discovering, like, no, okay, this is a part of Pokemon's identity artistically. You know, like, I guess figuring out which parts to stylize. I appreciate the series experiments so much. Which is ironic because people still criticize Pokemon for being quotation marks the same thing every game, and I'm like, no! Are you even paying attention? Which, like, okay, the answer is obviously no, because people did not understand the stories of any of the recent games, except maybe Scarlet and Violet, but probably a tepid take at best, but I honestly don't want anything in Pokemon to look or sound realistic. Me either. I mean, I thought the textures that they used in Scarlet and Violet were cool, especially for some steel types. But I prefer the cell shading. The new games are fine, but occasionally I do watch a Crystal stream and I'm like, dang, that move sounded so cool. Yeah, once again, I feel like specifically with the artistic identity of a lot of, like, the sound and stuff, they're still kind of finding their footing with that. Because keep in mind, Pokemon's only been on HD consoles for about 4 or 5 games now. Because Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl weren't actually developed by Game Freak. They were developed by Ilka. So it's really only been like Sword and Shield, which to me, Sword and Shield, I mean this as a compliment. Sword and Shield has a lot of 3DS energy. Like, it still very much carries a lot of the energy, especially of Sun and Moon to me. But But, like, you know, there's only been, like, Sword and Shield, Let's Go, the 2 Legends games, and Scarlet and Violet. And once again, I do appreciate that they're all very stylized and have their own, like, vibe and everything. Realistic textures are cool, but I'm glad they didn't stay, other than the steel types, like you said. But even then, it being realistically reflective did veer too far. I think they strike a good middle ground with textures and keep it cartoony. I've always liked how the Poliwag, or Poliwhirl and Poliwrath line look in X and Y, where they had, like, the thick outline. Well, not just X and Y, but I guess all the 3DS games. They had, like, the thick outline and the cell shading. But when light hit, they kind of had a scaly texture, like a frog. Pokemon has stories? Dude, it's like, I'm sorry, but I have personal vendetta against chronic, you know, A-button mashers and people who just... It's not just with Pokemon. It's like... people will mash through every bit of text that doesn't have spoken dialogue. And it really irritates me, because, like, some people will stream an older game, and they will mash through text and never talk to any NPCs, and then talk about how the game has bad conveyance, and I'm like... maybe if you'd actually engage with the game... I don't want to read because reading's hard. That's why it's hard for me to communicate that, like, I engage with a lot of video games in a more literary way. Because when I tell people, like, I'm a video game enthusiast, they probably immediately think I play, like, fucking Fortnite and GTA Online or some shit like that. I support that if you have trouble dealing with long narration, because sometimes I do, but yeah, you don't get to criticize the story after not reading it. Some people just don't want to put anything into games. Well, again, like, I've realized that a lot of people view video games, because I have always, even though I didn't consciously know that I felt this way, if that makes any sense, I've always kind of wanted to engage with games as an art form. But a lot of people seem to see video games as something closer to, like, a board game. If that makes any sense. Big struggle for Final Fantasy XIV loses me after a point. Well, I feel like that's not you not engaging, LD. I feel like that is more of an issue of a lot of games, especially in the 2010s, where there was zero... I'm trying to think how to describe this. Especially in the early 2010s. There was, like, no editing for dialogue or text. Like, the user experience for the amount of text being shoved at people was not considered. Do I actually miss playing it? Look. Don't want to read. Yu-Gi-Oh! Player spotted. But yeah, I feel like a lot of games in 2010s had a real problem with brevity and being succinct, because, you know, it's hard to engage with the important on-screen text that's telling the story or whatever when you have just been served 7 boxes of fucking tutorial text, some of which are mechanics that you will not be engaging with any time in the near future. It's like, I love that a lot of stuff in, like, the recent Final Fantasy games and some other games and stuff lately, like Final Fantasy VII Remake series and stuff, shows you a little video of the thing it's tutorializing. And I'm like, yes, this is good. Like, more games that can do that, I wish did. I also appreciate when tutorials that tell you what, like, buttons do show me a picture of the controller. Also, the whole pot of greed, like draw 2 cards from my deck thing, reminds me of one of my favorite TCG memes as someone who has played a lot of trading card games in the past. Was, it just has the text prompt of, I drew 2 cards. And then it's like, Magic the Gathering player, okay, cool. Pokemon player, that's adorable. Yu-Gi-Oh player, you did what? But no, it is really funny because you can tell early on Yu-Gi-Oh was designed with more thoughts of how other trading card games work, as opposed to how the game's actually played. Because they really took a long time to realize that the cards themselves are the main resource, and just giving you a card you can +1 off of breaks the entire flow of the game. I have a hard time caring about a video game if it does not make me feel something. A lot of games either don't appeal to me or don't for the actual gameplay part, which is fine because not everything's for me, but being online with a bunch of friends who are into all sorts of video games gets me into some roadblocks. I'm sorry, Maddie. I feel like I am constantly trying to push games on you, but the ones I push on you are ones that are because I think you'll like them. Well, I say push on you, I'm usually just like, oh hey, this has a demo in the eShop. Though again, Maddie, I unironically do think you would like Dragon Quest, especially Dragon Quest XI. You gotta come download it for me. Fine, I'll start walking. A lot of times, a game has to appeal specifically to my ADHD, so even if it's something that I'd be interested in theory, if the gameplay and story isn't presented in a way that flips the switch, and the brain is like, I want to like this, but unfortunately, I just cannot. Well, that, and, like, depending on your brain's mood, or at least for me, like, sometimes, like, it'll be my favorite games ever, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't play this right now. But then there'll be some random thing that I've never touched before that suddenly is giving my brain the chemical. Reminds me of a meme where some guy's reviewing cards, and something like Lord Destructor and has infinite attack, and he calls it... Yes, I actually sent that meme to Maddie because it made me think of them. It's like, the next card's a 0/1 raccoon that says, lets you eat trash for free on your turn. He's like looking at it with abject horror. It's one of the best ones. Also seems like games I'm into are in the blind spots of everybody I know, which is an unfortunate coincidence. The raccoon. It's too powerful. But that do be how trading card games roll, though. Card said raccoon, okay, I get it right. Raccoon. I'm dyslexic. Give me a sec. The raccoon. Raccoon. No. I'm just a cute little mouse who can't read. Even though all the games I play are full of text and dialogue. Where are you? I need you to download the thing. I'm kidding there. Oh my god. Uppa. Switch is on 1%, come on! Ah! Does that remind you of Valley Girl Micaiah would like to battle? Again, like, I have never even been to the west coast of the United States. I have no idea how my girl voice landed on Valley Girl. Though, granted, I do wonder if it's just because growing up in the 90s that my vernacular is eternally laced with totally radical. So it might just be an end result. Because, like, also, I guess masculine voice jump scare. But when I'm talking in, like, my boy voice or whatever, I do say, like, dude and stuff like that a lot. So I guess it just like, it's one of those things that, like, feels like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess it does. I'll say Final Fantasy XIV, the beginning, is a bit of a rough start. And understand it's not going to be for not going to find everyone like it did me. But I think I'd be down to restart to go through it with someone. Well, yeah, my thing with, like, Final Fantasy XIV is I just don't do MMOs, and I just cannot engage with a game that's functionally endless. Also, I'm just not a big fan of what I've seen from, like, the combat in general. A million billion tiny little squares on the screen messes with my, like, I don't like that very much. Just play Final Fantasy VII twice. I have played it more than twice. I streamed it, so whenever that was. Just a second, we'll be right back. I want to check something real quick. I'm not actually leaving. Wait, that's right, I can do just that and won't affect the stream, okay. It's not for everyone. Like I said, I just don't really... I'm trying to think how to, like... I guess I just kind of have to not understand. Come on, again. I have to accept that, like, even though I love Final Fantasy, that's just one of the few... Because I never engaged with, like, Final Fantasy XI either. Okay, I do have it on here. Give me a sec here. Thanks, Twitch Mobile, for not letting me post an emote. She's gone, chat stream is over. Ah! Caleb, all games except for the ones we are hyper-focused on. You know, it actually does irritate me that, like, the few games that I don't seem to engage with are the only ones that everyone else is playing. I joke, but it does actually make me feel really isolated a lot of times, because, like, I want to talk to my friends about games, but it's like almost, well, that and like a lot of games with no end, like stuff like Genshin Impact and stuff like that, are, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they very much end up hooking ADHD people, and it being really hard to pull it out of. Because I feel like a lot of neurodivergent people have a lot of issues with FOMO. And most endless games are like built on FOMO. That's fear of missing out for anybody not familiar with the acronym. I'm a professional at missing out. I'm immune. I wouldn't say that. Not that I wouldn't say you're immune. I would say you're not a professional at missing out. Like, for example, you didn't missing out on having a wonderful friend who loves you. Okay, well, you're not me. Fair enough. Look, I am a Yu-Gi-Oh! That plays stuff like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh, a youngin'. Wow, that was an amazing dyslexia pull. You can be a Yu-Gi-Oh! If you want to, Ben. I mean, you're pretty close to being a king of games. You did get top 4 in that Street Fighter 6 tournament. Plays stuff like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Rayman while people my age are playing games that are with it and hip. I don't think Roblox or Fortnite are particularly with it or hip. TBH. Because, fun fact, Ben, in 20 years, you will still be able to play your Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that you bought, and your Rayman that you bought, and all those games that people sunk thousands of dollars on buying microtransactions and shit will be gone. They will be delisted, and they will not be getting their money back or their time. Didn't miss out on that either, idiot. I know, and I'm very grateful. But it's like, I don't know, there always has been a little something about games that, like, I guess live service is what they're officially called, but, like, it's just always kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Like I said, I know I do play Pokemon TCG Pocket and engage with that, but that's like, well, A, I've never spent a single penny in it, but, I guess it's just because I like trading card games. Like I said, I'm not saying live service games have to be terrible, but it does make me a little sad when I want to talk about video games and... I'm trying to think. You know, I guess what it comes down to is, like... maybe this is just from getting older, but I have been much more accepting about things just ending, and I have also been, like, preferring something that has a definitive stopping point. Because I feel like a lot of those never-ending live service games become a second job. Where, like, it is work. It becomes work. And I like engaging with a video game that has a definitive ending and savoring the piece of art, like, the same way you'd savor a really good meal. And I like coming back to a game that I've completed and done everything in, knowing exactly what it is, and seeing how it feels different to me next time when I come back. Seeing how it feels different sharing it with somebody. You know, sitting there trying to hold it in when they get to that part, and they don't know, and you really don't want to hint it or spoil it for them, but you're just sitting there, like, chill, but on the inside you're like, oh, ho, ho, ho. Because I think there really is something to be said about a complete experience. Because I feel like that's also why, at a young age, I gravitated to, more toward like manga and stuff over American comic books, because like, I'm more talking about like mainstream American superhero comics like Marvel and DC, which have like nearly 100-year continuity on some of them, and never have a definitive ending because the brand is too big to ever have a definitive ending. But you know, it's like, even though they keep trying to revive it, something like Dragon Ball actually has a complete story. Or, you know, Full Metal Alchemist has a complete story and a great ending. You actually get to see how the story ends. Hello, it's me, Alan. I've studied quite a bit since then, and I've gotten a lot better. I'm hanging out on Route 36. Can you come down for a battle? See you later. Because that's one thing is like that kind of does irritate me in how nostalgia-driven almost everything that comes out lately is. It's like, it's okay to just let things end. It's okay for it to have run its course. I mean, it's different to me if, you know, there's an old brand or something, and one of the creative teams or creative talent behind it says, oh, wait, I could have done this. This is a brilliant thing. Or, oh, you know, this is something I couldn't have done 20 years ago, but I've got an idea now, and I have to do it. I totally get that. That's kind of what Dragon Ball Daima was. You know, Toriyama had something new he really wanted to do with Dragon Ball. But it's like reviving things just to revive them. It's like, I'm very excited for the new Castlevania game coming out, but honestly, if Castlevania were just done, I would have been okay with that. Because we got some amazing games. Well, more than amazing. We got some of the best games ever made. You know, it had a brilliant run, provided me with some of my favorite games, and I'm okay. I was completely okay with Castlevania just being something in the past. Like, I'm okay with series ending, just make the games perpetually available, or the books, or the comics, or the movies, or the shows. Just keep them perpetually available, and I'm okay with it being done. Honestly, nothing turns me off to an anime or any other type of series than it just going on for hundreds or thousands of episodes. Turns me off, yeah. It's not true, but up there on the list. Companies want to milk nostalgia for all it's worth because they know it worked before and it's a safe option to make money instead of letting and encouraging new and creative things. Yeah, and it's like, okay, to be a little more specific, because I know I made the, like, DC Comics and Marvel examples. Thing is, I do like a lot of those when you pull them out of the context of their forever comic book series. Like, for example, I love Batman the Animated Series, but that is a series with an endpoint. Like, I also really like Batman Beyond. I like the Teen Titans, the series from the 2000s, the animated series. Because a lot of things I feel like people want to come back feel like they didn't get a chance to run their course. But it's like, also, like, with something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I feel like that's different because, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles keeps coming back, but it's more like almost like the Ninja Turtles have become their own kind of mythological figures, and then each time it comes back, it's a brand new interpretation and a brand new story with a beginning, middle, and end. Only long series I've watched, I did because after falling off at some point, I heard it was ending. DC and Marvel comics are better viewed as soap operas, yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying they're bad or anything. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of what turns me off from engaging with them. I have actually really been enjoying Batman Caped Crusader because it reimagines and explores Batman characters in a way that hasn't been done before and explores some forgotten characters. That's cool. But again, like, I know a lot of times, like, with DC, Marvel, and other like, Forever comics, a lot of times it is separated into very clean story arcs, which do have beginning, middle, and endings. Because it's not like the whole Inuyasha Naraku thing. I know they don't keep dragging on one specific story for eternity. I like finding opinions I didn't have in conversation. An hour ago, I couldn't tell you what I thought about long-running series. I mean, there are a lot of long-running series I love. Again, Dragon Ball. But, like, I am also very okay, like I said, with something ending when it's done. Didn't know I need some sleep. I could probably use some myself. You know, I kind of want to do something besides just grind in the game. But I don't think there really is much left to do. Aside from, like, shiny hunting or gambling. We're all still in the cuddle pile. We just keep it going. Turned into a sleepover. I'll make waffles in the morning. Slept the whole day if y'all need sleep energy. Some say shiny hunting is a form of gambling. True. Though if I was going to shiny hunt, I don't think I'd do it in Generation 2. I don't know, man. I like... Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, there actually is a way to manipulate it a little bit. Since shininess is actually transferred via IVs, or determined by IVs, rather, you can chain breed to make it more likely to hatch a shiny Pokemon. I don't know, I think I just enjoy being in Johto. Haven't had a waffle in long. One thing I love in the Game Boy games is the dancing flowers. I know they're probably supposed to be blowing in the wind, but to me they're dancing. Dancing flowers are always good. Johto honestly feels like a pretty cozy place, yeah. I'll be honest, you guys. Like, I'm being, like, super candid, because there's not much stream left. I'm probably ending soon. It's Bellawesome. Bellawesome. But I'll be, like, super candid. I'm kind of a little sad that Crystal's almost over. Because, like I said, we don't really have a whole lot left to do in the game. And we played it together for, like, 200 hours. More than 200 hours. And there's a lot of other games I want to stream and a lot of other games I want to finish. But, you know, this is where I started streaming. And I know I can technically come back to it anytime, even after we beat Red. You know, the streamer laws do not dictate that I can stream whatever I want to, regardless of what anyone says. You know, the streamer laws do not dictate that I can never come back or anything, but it's like the end of a massive arc. Yeah, it doesn't feel real yet. I kind of dread what the vibe will be after you beat Red. It'll really feel like a lonely mountaintop. The crystal is real! All good things must come to... Yeah, it's... Wait, first, hopping up and down on the magnet train. Okay. But it is ironic that I am being wistful about this. At the same time, I was just talking about being okay with things ending. Actually, the last person who can play Johto will be deleted forever when you get... No! Hi, do you have a rail pass? I have one. All the people in Saffron who ride the magnet train have passes. Before the magnet train station was built, there was a house here. A little girl named Copycat used to live here. Whew. How many times have I gone back and forth between Kanto and Johto? Mice, too. Humans are full of contradictions, and mice, too. Welcome, this is Silphco's head office building. I can't sit on the couches? Lame. One day we can go see Bart's and crew. I'm getting there, I promise! I mean, honestly, the last few times I have gone to stream, I was either going to do Final Fantasy V or Mario 64, and my arms and hands and wrist and shoulders have been hurting so much from constantly having to use them at Job that it is difficult to play anything that requires any kind of response timing. A likely story. I mean, it's likely because it's true. Silphco's latest product. It's not for sale anywhere yet. Oh, that's right, because he gives you the upgrade for poor Egon. Do-re, Egon! There's a place called Trainer House in Viridian where trainers gather from all over the place. I know. Johto, you can zip back home by hopping on the magnet train. Yeah, I always hop when I'm on the magnet train. Hi, Red's mom. I worry about Red getting hurt or sick, but he's a boy. I'm proud that he's doing what he wants to do. What does that have to do with being a boy? I'm gonna play the Nintendo 64. Men never get hurt or sick, duh. It looks like it hasn't been used in a long time. See, look, I'm playing Super Mario 64 in Pokemon Crystal. Soup 64. It's delicious. Buff actually carries over if you transition. Sometimes games really remind you of when they come out. Even something as timeless as Pokemon, true. Hi, my kid brother's the gym leader in Viridian City, but he goes out of town so often it causes problems for the trainers. Though it's really funny, Maddie, because that line is exactly the same in Gold and Silver, so as early as the next game, that line aged poorly. Like from 2000 to 2001, that line aged poorly. Medium Martha's sort of lazy. Rude! Leader Chuck is right for me. Picnicker Liz is right for me. Bisexual icon. Pewter City's sort of lazy. What? Erica is precocious. Route 12 is always happy. I forgot how fucking funny the People and Places radio station is. Acknowledge is incredible! You can now trade Pokemon across time like email. As soon as she dropped Liz, she immediately got scooped up. Damn. I'm not surprised, though. Thanks to your work on the Pokédex, the Professor's research is coming along great. Professor's Pokemon Talk radio program isn't aired here in Kanto. It's a shame. I'd like to hear it. Glad I never get hurt or sick. That's why I sleep to heal like an RPG hero. Don't tell anyone, but Professor Oak's Pokemon Talk isn't a live broadcast. Scandal. There's nothing in here. How's your Pokédex coming along? Let's see. Current Pokemon completion level. Wow, you've hit 200. Your Pokédex is looking great. If you're in the area, I hope you come visit again. Email message on the PC. Professor Oak, how's your research coming along? I'm still plugging away. I've heard rumors that Mox is getting quite a reputation. I'm delighted to hear that. Elman New barked down. Look at his little emoji, his little 2001 emoji with his glasses face. You were close! Okay, I kid you not, Ben. That's actually how I get myself to do the Professor Oak voice. Looks like something else. Nah. If it did look like something else, that'd be a really thin shaft. Not that I'd be complaining. But the little "you were close" line in Pokemon Snap is actually kind of like the good line to practice the Professor Oak voice. Very wide head. Again, you'll get no complaints from me. Press start to open the menu. The save option on the menu. Use it in a timely manner. What if you got all the way to Kanto to Professor Oak's lab and you had not opened the menu or saved the game yet? Would that be possible? Shit, did I just invent a challenge rung? Call it the pelvic parasol. You're strong. You obviously must have trained hard. You see, I think it's really fun how there are a bunch of high-level trainers around Route 1 here, and that feels like it doesn't make sense until you remember, oh, they probably all came to challenge Red, and he's just not at his house. Because, like, a league champion and someone that was a league champion for half an hour both live here. I mean, hey, even if you were only champion for half an hour, you still were champion. For trainers, it's a given that battle whenever we meet, unless you're in Paldea. I was champion once. You know, it is interesting how they remixed all of the Kanto music on the same sound hardware. Champion of her heart, till I screwed up and lost it. I love how it says it's a fruit-bearing tree, just in case you forgot that fruit trees bear fruit. Hopping up and down on the magnet train. If I recall correctly, Gen 2's music was initially composed on an Amiga. Yeah, I heard about that. I think that's really cool. Bear Ring? They should make a Pokemon like that. Nah, it would never work. And it especially wouldn't get an an evolution years later that would have the word blood in the title. Pokemon would never do something like that. You know, it's actually really funny. I never forget about Ursaluna, but for some reason, my brain just does not connect that to being the evolved form of Ursaring. I mean, I think Ursaluna is cool as hell. I don't think it's a bad Pokemon or anything. But in my mind, you could say, it's a fruit tree. No, it's a fruit-bearing tree. It's just like a gay person walks up to you and hands you a tree. It's a fruit bearing a tree. It's a tree. Oh, to have a gay person hand me a little bonsai. It's a tree. You are now a fruit. It's a... Wait, have I ever read this plaque? The bug catching contest is held on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Not only do you earn a prize just for participating, you can also get to keep the bug Pokemon you may have at the end of the contest. I don't think I've ever read that. I don't even think I ever internalized that it had text on it that you could read. I can't read his laptop, darn. Also, low-key thing, the little pieces of fencing here, I love that they have fucking shadows. You know what? You know what else is held every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday? Almost every Mott stream. Wow! Well, it's usually Sunday, but yeah. Wow! That's why I said almost. Come on. Okay, fair enough. Gina, won't you call me? Gina, call me please. I need your stones. Only you can make the gloom change. Only you can evolve my eggs, Gina. Feeling scorned for... She's feeling scorned. Give her time. I know. I'm sorry, Gina. If I'd have known I would receive material objects from you, I would have become friends much sooner. She thinks that you only want her for her rocks. And that's true, but you have to wait till she forgets about that. Actually, again, I really do wish this was like Heart Gold and Soul Silver and you could just have everyone in your phone, because I would. You can have me in your phone. I do all my favorite people. I visit all my favorite people in my phone. All the wonderful gay people in my phone. Make life worth living. Phone a friend? No, phone is the friend. Also, I'm not trying to push any particular identity on people whose orientations I don't really know about, but I feel like if you've been hanging around here long enough, you're honorarily cool with the gays, so you count in that too. The girls, the gays, and Coldtails. Really? Finally? Ah, yes. Of course. Famously, incredibly heterosexual and cisgender Twitch user Maddie Pudding is finally part of the gays. You got me! But okay, guys, I think I am losing my capacity to, awake. And I am a very hungry little mouse, so I do believe we'll go wrap it up here. We got right to the 3-hour mark. I apologize that the last, 15 minutes have just been me meandering and accomplishing nothing, but it's fun to meander. Have a good unawakened nibble. I will try my best. But thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you so much for everybody tuning out the gameplay while we rant about literally everything. But seriously, though, thank you, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I will see you, hopefully, Sunday. Rest well, enjoy counting the Wooloos. I will try. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.